Fox Sports.
We are Black Horse. We are Ohio.
After an early Mike Trout salvo, it was all Indians, beating up the Angels pitching staff for 6 doubles and 3 home runs, setting a new season high for extra base hits in a game. The offense will try to keep rolling against Tyler Skaggs instead of letting him shred like Boz Skaggs. Carlos Carrasco will try to cover up the Angels, attempting to end a personal 3-game losing streak. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Friday night in downtown Cleveland, and the fans will be packing the joint as the Indians continue this 4-game series tonight against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Tribe broke out offensively in a big way last night, and 2 guys who had a big hand in it have been red hot at the plate. Jose Ramirez has hit in 15 straight, and Mike Napoli's got a double-digit hit streak of his own.
11 games for Mike Napoli, and he's been on a tear this whole year at a Progressive Field. He's just pounding the baseball, hitting over 300, driving in the runs, hitting the home runs, and right behind him, number 5 in the lineup, Ramirez continues his 15-game hitting streak. That's a career high for him, and he just continues to improve. He's very impressive. You can see what he's doing at home this year. But since the All-Star break, Mike Napoli, 11 homers, 22 RBIs. They are really consistent for this ball club, and Kipnis and those guys are getting on base for these guys, and they are picking them up and driving them home.
Rick, on the last homestand, Carlos Carrasco had probably his worst start of the year. But other than that, he's pitched pretty well. He just hasn't had much luck or run support lately.
Well, he lost in New York, but he pitched a good game. He held the Yankees to 3 runs, and Carlos just has to go out there and be himself. He hasn't pitched as many innings. He spent the 5 weeks on the disabled list, but he's going to be just fine. He's got to turn it around here at home, and I think follow suit. You know, with Kluber going out there and pitching like he's pitching, you got to get Carrasco back on track. You can see his numbers in his last 3 starts. Don't worry about that. Hopefully that's in the past, and he's going to settle in. He's 1-0 against the Angels this year. He'll be matched up against left-hander Tyler Skaggs. You can see this year 1-0, missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery, so they're going to get another left-hander, but the Indians play very well against left-handed starters.
Last night's scary moment in the ballgame when Carlos Santana was struck in the head by a foul ball while sitting in the dugout. When we come back, Andre Knott will have the latest on Santana as the Indians and Angels get ready to square off right here tonight on Sports Time Ohio. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
2 of their series at Progressive Field. Welcome into our Sports Time Ohio studio here in downtown Cleveland. I'm Ashley Collins. The Tigers, who have lost 4 straight, are now 4 back in the AL Central standings behind the Tribe. They're back in action tonight on the road in Texas, taking on the Rangers. Anibal Sanchez will be on the mound for Detroit. He'll be facing off with Yu Darvish for the Rangers. And the Astros and Blue Jays will begin a 3-game set tonight as well. The Astros just a half game in front of Baltimore now in the AL East. So we'll track both of those games for you as well as a couple others. Now we'll send it back out to Rick and Matt at Progressive Field.
Thanks, Ashley. Just a light drizzle falling here at Progressive Field. It's going to be warm, 90 degrees at game time, very humid in downtown Cleveland. But the good news is it looks like we're going to start this game on time because it was iffy late this afternoon. The tarp was kind of on and off and in between a few different times. But so far you see the rainbow over the top of the ballpark. The rain has stayed away, and hopefully that'll continue throughout the night, but you never know. For the Indians, Carlos Carrasco is on the hill. Carlos Santana is not in the lineup. With more on that, let's go down to Andre Knott.
Well, after a very scary moment last night, Carlos Santana is doing relatively well after what happened last night after Francisco Lindor hit a foul ball right down here in the dugout, hit him on the right side of his face. He has a red mark on his face, but at this point, it's just a head contusion is what it's been called. He did say today he's had a concussion in his life before. He's had 2 of them when he was a catcher. He says he doesn't have any of the symptoms or any of the feelings he had when he did have concussions. So far that's good. Also earlier today, about 2 hours a day, he came out to left field. He played catch with the trainers. They wanted to put him through some things, get him to run, get him to throw. So far so good, and if everything stays the way it is, he most likely will be back in the lineup tomorrow. Today, though, you will not see Carlos Santana, but everything's pointing up at this point in time for Carlos Santana after a very scary moment. And it's easy for you to say up there that it's just a light drizzle.
Yeah, just a light drizzle. How wet are you?
I'm getting there. Don't worry about it.
All right, the Indians have taken the field behind Carlos Carrasco. And we'll get a look at the starting lineup that he will face for Mike Scioscia's Angels. It's brought to you by Spitzer Automotive. Yunel Escobar will lead it off. Cole Calhoun bats second. That man in your picture, Mike Trout, will hit third. Albert Pujols in the cleanup spot. Andrelton Simmons will hit 5th. Giovanni Soto behind the plate will bat 6th. Then it's Jeffrey Marte, Cliff Pennington, and Shane Robinson gets the start in left field, batting 9th.
And the Honda starting pitcher for the Indians, Carlos Carrasco, making his 18th start this year. The Indians are 11-6 in his 17 games started to this point. They get him about 4.5 runs per game. At home, he's 2-3 with a 481. So Carlos, in his career against the Angels, he's 1-0 with a nice 1.36 ERA. He hasn't pitched against them this year, and this will be start number 4. So let's set the defense behind him. Brought to you by Jeep. It looks like this: Geyer in left, Davis in center, Almonte in right, Ramirez at third, Martinez gets the start at short, Kipnis is at second, Napoli at first, Perez behind the plate.
And the umpires tonight, crew chief Larry Vanover has the plate. David Rackley, Clint Fagan, Alfonso Marquez on the bases. We're ready to go. Escobar stands in. He was 0 for 4 last night. Arch told you throughout the telecast he's done a very good job since going into that leadoff spot. Gives you an idea of how good Corey Kluber was last night and has been for an extended period of time now.
He gets after it from that number 1 hole. Came in last night, he was hitting 363. He's now 358 leading off the game.
Carrasco ready, the 0-1. Down on the dirt.
Carlos, in his last start at New York, pitched a good game against the Yankees. Went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits and allowed 3 runs. You know, he walked a couple. He had 9 strikeouts, but he left trailing 3-1. Offensively, they couldn't get him any help.
Boy, that was awfully good looking pitch. Didn't get called. 2-1.
Take a look at it. Nissan pitch tracker. I don't know what's wrong with it. It wasn't above the mask at all. I'm thinking he had to call it high.
That one's called, and it's 2-2. Carrasco, if he keeps that pitch in that spot, it'll be a long night for the Angels.
If he can get that called every time, that'd be fine. We'll see where their strike zone goes tonight.
He did not go, and the count is full. The Angels have lost 7 in a row. And they've lost 6 of their last 7 overall against Cleveland.
Yeah, we documented last night the injuries that they had, and it's just been a really tough year for Mike Scioscia and his ball club. Their starting pitchers, when number 1 goes down, they thought 8 or 9 pitchers in spring training to weather the storm, and boy, they went down like flies.
Yeah.
And now they're just trying to piecemeal it together.
Again, the 3-2. Grounded right at the shortstop. Michael Martinez throws him out.
It's hard not saying Lindor out there.
I literally had to stop for a moment because he's played every day, but he's DHing tonight. So Michael Martinez is in there at shortstop and handled that without incident.
Well, this is a way of not the whole day off, but you get off your feet from playing shortstop, one of the tougher positions to play on the field.
Here's Cole Calhoun. Calhoun, 274 average for the year. It's a high drive, deep center field. Rajay's back. He's at the wall. He leaps, but no chance. That's going to make its way into the bullpen, and the Angels strike first on a 1-out home run by Cole Calhoun. It's his 12th on the year.
Much like last night's game started. You saw the home run in the first. He got it, hit it high, and that thing had some carry to it.
Yes, it did. And like last night, very humid. So the ball's going to carry. I've seen everything now. Here's Mike Trout as he takes a fastball for a strike. Trout, and the home run in the first inning last night. Now he chops one to third, but it's foul.
No,
it's a fair ball.
Yes, it is.
Ramirez thought it was foul. He's got his hands up in the air, but the umpire called it a fair ball, and there's no review on that.
No, there is no review. You're right, because it's in front of the umpires. And you know, I think Ramirez was going. See, he's looking at the dugout. He doesn't realize you can't challenge that. But here comes the ball down the line, and you're going to see it take a hop, and it's
clearly foul.
It was from that angle, and he called it a fair ball. Alfonso Marquez. And Ramirez said there's no way. And
there's
you can
no
see,
chance.
well,
that's not even close.
If it goes over the base, it doesn't have to hit it fair territory, but it did not go over the base. And that's why Ramirez didn't give that effort. You know, he thought he could just sort of pick it because he thought it was a foul ball. So it'll be a double. Unreviewable play.
Wow. I mean, that is flat out
seriously,
awful.
there's your best look we can show you right there, and it's clearly foul. You know, well,
Wow.
there's another thing. I mean, that should be reviewable if we could see it plain as day.
Now Carrasco's got to work out of some trouble now. Albert Pujols 1 for 4 last night, doubled and scored a run. Pujols the DH with 21 dingers, 87 driven in on the year, and he smashes one into left. It's 2-0 Angels. He's on his way to second base. He's going to have to hurry. He jams on the brakes. He would have never been close.
I'll tell you what, I watched him going down the line, and boy, he's having a tough time running, but he can still swing the bat. So he comes in, and they go 3 consecutive hits. Although this one smoked. He stayed right in the middle of the plate there, and Pujols took advantage of it. Gets all the way to the wall. Geyer gets over there in plenty of time. Didn't rush it. You understand who's running. The veteran, but you give him his 88th RBI. Makes it a 2-0 ball game. He's smiling because he got a free hit.
Andrelton Simmons to the plate, 0 for 4 last night. Low and away, 2-0. In the air to right field. Back is Almonte onto the warning track. And there are 2 down. Keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. First 3 innings for Carrasco, already 2 allowed here in the first, 1 tainted. And we'll see if the Indians can have the opposite field approach against the left-hander Tyler Skaggs. Giovanni Soto has the catching duties this evening. Came on defensively late in the game last night, did not have an at bat. And he ropes one to left field. Boy, Carrasco's getting knocked around here in the opening frame. Pujols barely makes it to third base on the double.
Well, if you look at the locations, that's they have their first 3 hits came on the second pitch. This one is on the first pitch, and you look at the locations. It's not Carrasco from what we're used to seeing. Look at it, it's right there, middle of the plate, trying to establish that fastball, but it's belt high. And it's at a good portion of the plate. We witnessed that last night with Jolie Chachin, their starter. That's all out right there for Elber. Well, Carrasco, see if he can keep it a 2-run inning.
Los Angeles, inning 7, number 19, the first baseman, Jeffrey Marte.
Jeffrey Marte, the 7th man to bat here in the top of the first. Way out in front. Marte 1 for 3, scored a run last night. He's collected a hit in 10 of his last 11 games. Checked on a ball down low. Well, the Chicago Cubs keep rolling along. They've won 11 in a row after they throttled St. Louis earlier today.
Yeah, they're hot.
They have 73 wins on the year. 1-1 pitch. Outside. .20-pitch inning for Carrasco. And that fastball is blistered foul.
Well, boys, you better pay attention tonight.
Carlos Santana wearing a double flap helmet, and he was
if I was him, I'd
jumping
sit down
out of the
in
way.
the dugout. That looks weird, doesn't it?
Yes.
You got to put the catcher's gear on and sit down in there.
And the 2-2. Boy, that's low. Full count. Carlos was in good spirits when I spoke to him earlier this afternoon. I think he realizes just how lucky he was. He said, you know, if that ball's an inch in a different direction, I could have hit me in the eyes. It could have hit me in the teeth, nose. A lot of different things could have transpired, but he's feeling pretty good for the most part. He said it just happened so fast. He said, I heard somebody say, look out, and the ball hit me. He said it was that fast.
That's all. If you're not paying attention, you take your eyes off for a split second.
(3-2). Foul back. But it just figures. I mean, Santana's a guy who plays every day. And
this is good. I mean, not it's good that he got
it's
hit.
Not an injury that knocks him out of the lineup.
No, give him a breather.
He's sitting on the bench watching the game, and that's how he ends up getting hurt. The 3-2. Got him looking. That'll end the inning. But the Angels strike first. A home run by Cole Calhoun. And an RBI knocked by Albert Pujols. The Indians are coming to bat. Tyler Skaggs here tonight, and the starting lineup for the Indians is brought to you by Progressive. Rajay Davis will lead it off. Jason Kipnis in the 2-hole. Then it's Francisco Lindor. Mike Napoli a perfect 4 for 4 last night. Hits cleanup. Jose Ramirez batting 5th. Brandon Guyer 6th. Abraham Almonte, Roberto Perez, and Michael Martinez rounded out 8 right-handed bats in the lineup for the Indians tonight.
And our Hyundai starting pitcher, The left-hander Tyler Skaggs missing all of last year with Tommy John surgery. He's coming back. He's making his 4th start tonight. And he did not allow a run in his first 2 starts, which covered 12 1/3 innings. He's pitched 16 innings, or 16 pitches per inning, excuse me. 17 strikeouts in his 17 2/3 innings. So usually when you're coming back, you have to look and watch for command. That's usually the last thing that comes.
And a fastball in there to Rajai Davis. He was 0 for 1 last night. His only at bat came late in the game. Quickly, no balls, 2 strikes. Big overhand curve, but it hangs high and out of the strike zone. 1-2. Lays off the high fastball. And he is winning the series opener last night, trying to put consecutive wins together, something they haven't been able to do for a while. They go back to the sweep of the Oakland A's in the last homestand. They've been on the every other day mode since that final series against Minnesota on the homestand. It's been lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. 2-2 pulled foul.
Well, for Skaggs, although he missed last year, he was originally traded from the Angels to the D-backs back in 2010, which brought Dan Herron to the Angels, and then was acquired back with Hector Santiago as they sent Mark Trumbo to Arizona.
Full count.
So from 0-2 to 3-2.
Charlie Nagy looking on. It was a long night for he and the Angels pitching staff.
They need a good start, or they could use it with a 4-game series.
Foul right back our way, but not quite to us. There were 6 different Angels pitchers in the game last night. Their starter, Jhoulys Chacin, went an inning and a third. Jose Alvarez an inning and 2/3. Brett Oberholzer an inning and 2/3. Mike Moore an inning and a third.
Yeah.
Jose Valdez and Fernando Salas with an inning each.
That's like a spring training game.
Yeah. Pop foul.
Nice
again.
at bat here by Davis.
And this will be the 10th pitch of the at bat for Rajai Davis.
You know, that helps when you're a leadoff hitter and you're leading off the game against a starter. He was down 0-2 and now he's going to a 10 pitch at bat. Those guys in that dugout appreciate that because they're getting a chance to look at pretty much everything he has, the first hitter of the game.
One more time, the 3-2. And that's fouled away again.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
See how he's been attacked by left-hander Tyler Skaggs during this at bat.
All over the place, really. 5 2-strike foul balls for Rajai.
Lays off ball
nice
4.
At bat. Let's check the defense behind Skaggs tonight. For the Angels, Robinson is in left field. It'll be Trout in center, Calhoun over in right, Escobar at third. Simons is at short, Pennington is at second, Marte at first, Soto behind the plate.
Jason Kipnis, 1 for 3, drove in a run last night, scored a couple of runs. And he lays off. It's ball 1. Out goes Giovanni Soto. So that long at bat and resulted in a walk to Rajai Davis. We'll see if that pays any dividends for the Indians here. Charlie Nagy, member of the Cleveland Indians Hall of Fame. His name is all over single season record book for the Indians.
Well, he's the one that helped the Indians transition into this ballpark back in 1994, coming from the old stadium. Take it.
Throw down, not even close. Rajai with a stolen base, number 29.
Now, Kipnis did a great job just to take that pitch. Give him a chance. He had a great jump. He was off and running. And there was no chance. He looks back. He knows he has it stolen. And watch Kipnis just pull the bat back, and it's still a 2-0 count. He didn't throw a strike, so pick the right pitch. Good jump. Number 29.
Indians down 2 here in the early going. Trying to come right back. Davis bolts for third. And the throw, not in time. How do you like them apples? Back-to-back stolen bases by Rajai Davis on consecutive pitches.
Well, you better pay attention because he knows if the left-hander has a tougher time, it's easier to steal third. And he gets off and gets running by the time they tag him. And you've got Soto behind the plate. Look at, he's in there. 2 stolen bases gives him 30 on the year.
Now the infield in on the 3-0 pitch. And Kip taking, it's in there for a strike.
That's another dimension that Rajai has brought to this offense that, you know, not many guys can do that in the game now, or just pure base stealers. He's off and running. He's setting this inning up. He's giving them a free run right here to cut the lead in half after the leadoff walk, and he was down on the count 0-2. Manufactured.
Think about that. In the span of 2 pitches, he turned a walk into a run-scoring situation.
Into a triple.
Yeah, right.
Is in essence what he did. He turned a walk into a triple. I know that guy. Tito loves it.
The man at the plate was the last Indian to steal 30 bases in a season. That was 3 years ago. Rajai now has his 30. Trying to come home on a ball hit by Kipnis. And he will. An RBI single for Jason. That's RBI number 63 on the year. The Indians come right back, cut it in half at 2-1.
You know, and when you hit behind a guy like that, that just makes your job that much easier. Applies the pressure on the pitcher. He had a good hitter's count. He gets to a full count and just taking it the other way. Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Kipnis single. Cuts the lead in half. Still nobody out. And Skaggs already at 17 pitches. Here's the fastball. Good swing. Head down right through it.
Boy, I love that second look right there. Now Francisco Lindor. He was still trying to bunt that big overhand looping curveball. Stayed with it a long time. Lindor's hit in 7 straight. And he's got one of the best batting averages in the American League at home. .345. That's 5th best in the AL. Down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Skaggs delivers, and it's fouled off. There's that big curveball, and this time he strikes him out with it.
Yeah, that pitch that he threw before that curveball was a good fastball in on his hands, and he set that curveball up nicely.
Our great clip of the game from last night. Mike Napoli, 4 for 4 in a single, an RBI double, a double and scored a run in the 4th, and then the 3-run colossal home run in the 5th inning. And Napoli's got himself a line drive. It looked like maybe it was going to be a hit, but Pennington, who was shading him up the middle at second base, was able to run it down 2 away.
It's almost like it was a changeup, because I thought it was going to get into the outfield, but it wasn't hit all that hard. It looks like he must have got in on him a little bit. And Kipnis took one step and realized it's a line drive, hold your ground and go back.
Well, and the way Skaggs was shading him, or Pennington was shading him up the middle, really didn't have far to go. Jose Ramirez looks at a ball in the dirt. Nice stop by Soto. Ramirez has hit in 15 in a row, 26 out of 59 during his tear. Out of play. 1-1. California native Tyler Skaggs. The 1-1. Kipnis is taken off, and the throw down, not in time. Jason Kipnis has stolen a base in consecutive games. He has 11 now on the year.
Well, they know that there's a big kick here by Skaggs, and if you get your jump and you pick the right thing, I don't know if Sandy has anything that they're picking up on him, but they already have 3 stolen bases in the 1st inning, so they will continue to run.
And a runner in scoring position for Ramirez. That's usually a good thing for the Indians.
And that's why you take the chance with this guy at the plate. Take your chance of stealing a base early. If you get in scoring position, there's a good chance he can drive you home.
And he strikes him out to end the inning. Couple of Ks for Skaggs. Indians get a run back, thanks to the wheels of Rajay. It's 2-1 Angels after an inning. And Cliff Pennington, the number 8 hitter in the lineup, will lead it off. Pennington went deep last night. Actually put a couple of pretty good swings on the ball. Swung out and missed.
Carlos, a rough first inning where he gave up 4 hits, 3 extra base hits. He ended up getting out of that inning staying with his slider. They were hitting his fastball. He went to the slider and he's been just continuing to throw it. That was a good fastball by Pennington there, the second strike. And right there.
Yeah, that's low cheddar. Back-to-back strikeouts.
You know, in the first inning with his fastball, look, it looks like 2 seamers, but it was right there. That was the home run, a fastball, 4-seam. That was looked like maybe a little changeup. It was a foul ball. It was called fair, but that looked like a fastball. And boy, that was the location. Yeah, the location was not where they should have been, and they made him pay.
At the knees, outside corner to Shane Robinson, strike 1. Off-speed pitch. Did he go? No, he did not. Says David Rackley, your first base umpire. Missed inside, 2-1. Rain delay in the Bronx. What is to be Alex Rodriguez's final game, as New York was playing host to Tampa Bay tonight. 3-1 pitch. Tigers are down in Texas. They'll be underway in about 20 minutes. Indians began the night with a 4-game lead over Detroit in the AL Central. Kansas City, third best, 10 games off the pace, 4 games under 500. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, got a piece of it into the glove of Perez, and that's 3 strikeouts in a row for Carrasco. And there are 2 down.
This will be our Circle K strikeout. Fastball away right there, has a little comeback to it. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Carlos.
On away, ball 1. Yunel Escobar grounded out to short, his only time up. Chops off the mound. Carrasco, bare hand grab, slips, throws, got him.
How about that play?
Dynamite effort by Carlos Carrasco. Even with his footing slipping from beneath him, he still made a good, accurate throw to get him.
The MLB.com @bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Brandon Guyer leading off for Cleveland. 0 for 1 last night. And a breaking ball, and he hit it hard. Deep center. Trout's on the run. He's out of room. It's out of here. And we are tied at 2. Brandon Guyer with his 8th home run of the year. Arch, I don't know if he was watching Skaggs flip that curveball up there in the first inning, but he certainly weighted back on it nicely.
You know, that seems to be his swing from watching him since he's been here, and it's his first home run. He likes the ball coming into him, where a lot of right-handers like it going away. Watch him stay back on it. And when you hit a ball, and it wasn't located that well by Skaggs, but he did some damage to it to right center field. So Guyer, nice job, gets his home run, ties the ball game, his first as an Indian, hopefully many more to come, and it's a big hanging curveball. And he shoots it the other way. Good swing. And I think he was happy running between first and second. He got that first one out of the way. That's always good.
You always want to make yourself feel like you're pulling your weight
right
when you come to a new club.
Absolutely. And now he feels that way. Look at Rajai. He's up there.
Well, the Indians have suddenly become quite a home run machine. 18 home runs in the month of August. That's tied with Baltimore for the second most behind Minnesota.
Well, yeah, they were on a tear.
Twins lead the American League with 19 home runs this month. He went.
Seemed like 18 of them came against us.
Well, they definitely had their fair share in that 4-game series here.
Well, it didn't take the Indians long to come back and tie it.
And there's a ground ball towards second. Pennington throws him out, one away. Our Lowe's home field advantage. At home, the Indians averaging almost 6 a game.
You know, now that's scary to think that they're scoring more than the Red Sox are averaging in Boston with that offense. That's the 1-2 offense.
Yeah. You would think maybe Texas would be a little higher.
Yeah, that
the way they score at home. Baltimore at home.
Well, the Indians are right there, baby.
Roberto Perez, 1 for 4 last night with a double.
The funny thing is, offensively, they seem to be scoring a lot here, but their pitchers pitch better on the road, it seems like, than they do at home for whatever reason.
Roberto not happy with Larry Vanover's call. And he's going to ring him up. 2 down, 3rd strikeout for Tyler Skaggs.
Well, they want a high fastball. It's a good pitch. That's his pitch he's throwing to right-handers. It looks like he's trying to consciously get inside to the righties.
With 2 down, Michael Martinez the batter. Michael getting an opportunity to start tonight's game as Francisco Lindor serves as the DH, and Martinez promptly lines one into the right field area. Cut off by Calhoun. His throw, close play, ball got away, and Michael's safe with a 2-out double. Boy, nice piece of hitting by Martinez. Got up there, aggressive, chopped it the other way down the line. It took an Angels bounce off the sidewall, and Calhoun, who has a very good, accurate throwing arm in right field, made a good throw, but it kind of handcuffed Andrelton Simmons at the bag.
Watch the slide here. He goes up in the air. He looked like an Olympic swimmer going into the pool. You know, that I don't know if that stride took a little longer than normal to get into. That was just weird looking.
It sure was. And I don't know, was it because of the way Simmons was camped out in front of the bag?
I don't know if he tried to maybe make a change knowing that he was moving one way or the other. That very well could be.
Breaking ball down low. Martinez checking his surroundings at second base. After Rajay ran wild in the first and then Kipnis stole the bag, Angels are keeping a little closer eye now on Martinez.
That's okay. With 2 outs now, you don't worry. You're in scoring position. Davis did it with nobody out.
Popped him up.
He stays inside.
Inning over. But the Indians tie it on Brandon Geyer's home run, his first in an Indians uniform. 2-2 after 2 in Cleveland. Two-ball game. Happy to be joined in the booth now by Indians all-time great Gary Bell. How are you?
All-time great. I like
that.
Keep talking, man. I love that.
Well, you are. Your name surfaced here maybe a week or so ago. We were talking about pitchers in the organization. Striking out a lot of strikeouts. 100 wins.
The years I was here, you didn't take much to be an all-time great.
Well, this is a good young pitching staff right now with a lot of hard throwers.
Really?
And so
we had some great pitching back in the day. You know, with all the guys we had, Siebert, McDowell, and Steve Hargan, and all those guys.
We were talking about great staffs, and I think that's what we talked about when you guys had all those teams with the power arms.
Put that pitching staff with Yankees, they'd have won 120 games.
Because they would score a little bit, right?
A little bit.
They had some offense.
Yeah, you got that
now,
right.
do you get an opportunity to follow this team at all or see them occasionally?
Every day, babe. I
do
look
you?
at every box score every day.
Do you don't get the MLB package or get a chance to see it?
No. In fact, I went over to Napoli a while ago and introduced myself. And I know exactly what he's doing. He's got 29 dongs and 85 ribbies.
Yeah, he's having a heck of a year.
I asked him, I said, well, you can do that in Boston. That fence a little closer there. No,
well, he loves hitting in this ballpark. He's off. He's over 300.
Yeah, my buddy Matt Manship is back.
Yeah, Jeff Manship.
Yeah, his son. I mean, my son and him played Little League together.
No kidding.
Yeah, I know him really well.
Cole Calhoun has his second hit of the night, leadoff double here in the third inning, and that's going to bring up Mike Trout. Take a look at this pitch.
Hey, Matt, what's it feel like to have to carry the load all the time in here?
There's a little changeup right there from Carrasco.
You should get paid extra, you know, to have Archie up here. You know?
Well, he does. You know.
It's hard to get by on a lousy 700 or 800 grand, isn't it?
No, more than that. Come on.
Well, maybe you'll pay a fine at the Kangaroo Court this year.
That's right.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
You free in a couple of years? Maybe we'll come negotiate my new deal.
I will. I don't know. You were kind of falling in line with some of those Schuberts, those weirdos there. You know. They know I'm a good guy. I love them.
Well, I'm sure they're paying attention.
Yeah.
Bill and Chris have been here.
Hi, Bill. Hi,
Ran
Chris.
into Chris in Seattle.
Yeah, they were here for the Indians golf outing, the CIC
Yep.
function just a little while back.
Hey,
I'm sure you were busy, weren't you?
When was it? What was it for? The golf tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah. I sold my business, but I agreed to stay on for a year, and I had to kind of hang around.
Okay. So you're helping them.
I am.
Are you officially retired then once this goes through?
I think so. You know, I don't know why.
Put your time in.
I'm just 80. I don't know why I'd want to retire.
I got to tell you, can I leave me your hair, will you, when it's gone? Because you guys still got a great head of hair.
You know, if you'd have taken care of yourself like I did, you would have
true.
some too. You know,
I
be
tried.
out there running around and.
I tried. I just met you too early in life.
I'd have killed you if I'd have played with you. Probably.
I'm sure you would have.
Short Vincent was named after you, or maybe one of us. You know. Oh, this is great. Can I stay the whole game?
No.
Oh, thanks.
No, you're not allowed.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for coming, Garrett. We'll see you later. Because I know where this is going to be going.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Okay.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and the pitch gets away from Perez. Runner goes to third. His throw not in time.
I'll tell you, Calhoun had a great jump on that ball. He got a good read as he saw it go under the legs of Perez, and he had a jump and nothing that Perez could do about it. Watch the jump. You can pick it up at second a little better. He had that secondary lead, and he was off and running. That's a heads-up play, base running that way. So now on third with nobody out, an easy chance for Mike Trout to get an RBI.
Trout's a heck of a player, isn't he?
Yeah,
It's amazing how fast this guy is. He's a big guy, isn't he?
he's about 235, 240 pounds. He can run. He's tremendous center fielder. He's got power. Great low ball hitter.
Should put some pads on, go down the street tonight. Or are they playing?
They're in Green Bay.
Oh,
tonight.
well, that'd be a little harder.
But he just turned 25 last week.
Oh,
And he's probably, if not the best player. I don't know of anybody better.
well, you know, Pujols has got about 75 or 80 RBIs now, too.
He has 88.
Yeah.
To be exact. He got that 88 in the first inning.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a future Hall of Famer as well.
3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out.
Nice job by Carrasco.
4 Ks for Carlos. 1 down here in the third. Gary, we often talk about, pitchers going through the course of the game. There are times where, as a pitcher, you need a strikeout. You get a guy at third, less than 2 out, tie ball. You don't want that guy to come home on a weak ground ball or something. Were there times in games where you thought to yourself, I need to execute a pitch to get a strikeout?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because the infield we had, you didn't want to hit it to him anyway. That's not true. We had some good guys. Max Alvis. Yeah, there's times when you got to try to blow somebody away. But in my case, most of the time they knew what was coming anyways.
Well, you know what? Back when you were pitching in the days, you guys were, your goal, complete the game. You go out, you finish what you start. It's different nowadays. They have the bullpens, and now 6 innings, 7 innings is really a good job, and they turn it over to the bullpen. But when you have to face guys 3 or 4 times in a game, it's a lot tougher, isn't it?
It's crazy.
He's got another RBI.
That's a fair ball. Pujols is retired, 2 down. Lost a bat and traded for the RBI.
It kind of tickles us older guys to think about 6 innings being a quality start.
I know, Gary, but
But it is what it is. I understand.
Yeah, here you go. That's what a heads-up job of getting to third base. It gets him a run on good base running right there. A little weak grounder going on contact and gets Pujols his second RBI, and they take a 3-2 lead. It is, but that's the way the game has changed now.
Coach,
you guys, after you'd start, there'd be times that you would pitch, out of the bullpen. if needed.
A regular deal with us is I start today. Tomorrow I don't do anything. The next day, the next day, I'd either be in the bullpen for an inning or two or pitch batting practice.
Well, now we're taking you out of the game. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, nice knowing you two dogs too.
Enjoy a cold one to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
You getting texts around the?
Yeah, not yet though. Not on Gary's.
Oh, I did. I got one from Arizona. Fletch.
Nice.
When did they let Gary out of jail?
His reputation precedes him. 80 years old.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem possible.
No, I'm telling you, he and Mudcat Grant, for you people out there, they used to be roommates when they were coming up. And the stories that those guys have, I mean, you could sit down, it's like sitting around a campfire, you listen to them all night long. They're pretty comical.
The funniest story that I've heard both Mud and Gary tell the story. When Mudcat took Gary Bell. When you guys, you guys, but they were in New York playing the Yankees, and Mudcat
Sam McDowell was there.
Took him to a club to see a group play in Harlem.
Apollo took him to the Apollo on 125th Street. Yeah, in the Bronx.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, got him looking. It's been a pitch for Tyler Skaggs that's been good and bad at times tonight. That time it was good.
Well, he's going to get a feel for it because he continues to throw it. And you can see the break in that ball. It's a good 12-6 curveball. And you don't see many of those from left-hander. That's a good pitch. I think Kip might have thought it was a little bit high. He has 4 strikeouts already. You know, Murph came up with a good idea. It's like Barry Zito. Remember when he came up? He had that big curveball like that.
Lindor bounces it to second base. 2 down. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Active American League hitting streaks. Jose Ramirez has the longest as he continues to tear it up. Mike Napoli not far behind him with an 11-game rip. Napoli drive up the middle, caught by the second baseman Pennington his first time up. In the dirt, ball 1. The Angels guys were saying before the game, it's like we almost want to go up to Napoli and say, okay, we're sorry. Will you please stop beating up on us?
Well, you talked about it last night. It seems like he's hurt him a lot when he went to Texas and done a lot of damage to his former employees. Look at that, 19 homers, 43 ribbies in 59 games.
You know, it was interesting too, because you think about when he came up. So when he was with the Angels, he was a catcher.
Right.
And they had Jeff Mathis.
Right. Those two were the catchers, and it would like Knapp would be the offensive guy, and I guess Mathis was the defensive guy.
Bingo. 2-1 delivery. Ball's hit hard.
Well, little did anybody know that he would transition into a very good first baseman.
Yeah.
You know? And when we watched, and we've showed it a number of times, when he's at first, he always gets down in that squat before the ball's thrown, and you know, he comes back up into his fielding position.
Out of play.
Well, after watching him play every day this year, he's a fun guy to watch. He's definitely in tune to what you need to do to win on the baseball field.
That's going to stay fair. Skaggs will glove it and throw him out. The Indians go 1-2-3. We've played 3 innings, and the Angels lead it 3-2. Fourth inning. Giovanni Soto will lead it off. Carrasco's pitch misses, ball 1. Down low. 2-0. The Angels are nearing the end of a 10-day, 9-game road trip. They started in Seattle. They lost all 3. Flew across the country, played 2 against the Cubs, lost both. And now finishing up here in Cleveland, losing last night's game.
You know, and we've been on trips like that long 10-day trips and you end with a 4-game trip it's not normal, and it makes it that much longer.
They haven't lost 8 in a row since 1999. Jammed him, and it's foul. Broke his bat.
Well, they need a new piece of lumber. There's a souvenir.
But here's another thing about the Angels, and you know, whether this is just coincidence or how things have gone for them late in the season. In the last 2 seasons, the Angels are 12-26 in the month of August. Wow. So when it gets down to, okay, where are we going? We in this? Are we out of it? They start to fade. And they're 2-7 this month. The 2-2 pitch. Got him. Carrasco with his 5th strikeout. Time for an in-game update. Here's Ashley Collins.
Thanks, Matt. Diamondbacks and Red Sox are at Fenway. We'll go to the 2nd inning. Boston up 5-2, and Hanley Ramirez hits his 2nd 3-run homer of the night. That's his 16th homer of the season, giving the Red Sox an 8-2 lead. And David Price some run support. They're up 8-2 now. Bottom of the 3rd. Tigers and Rangers are delayed right now. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Ashley. And a rough first year for David Price in Boston. Jeffrey Marte called out on strikes his first time up. Pulled off, and it's 1-1. A little high. And the 2-1 is a bit outside. In the air, right field. Almonte puts it away, 2 down. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Over in the National League, the Cardinals lost Matt Holliday and immediately picked up the phone. They're trying to figure out a way to maybe pick up Carlos Gomez, who's just cut loose by the Houston Astros. Cardinals were thumped by the Cubs earlier today. So
I saw where Holiday got hit on a thumb yesterday.
St. Louis only 4 games over 500.
I just don't see Carlos Gomez and the St. Louis Cardinals fit. I really don't see that.
Yeah, I was shocked when I read it. Now,
well,
I don't know how much validity there is to it.
I'll be shocked. I'd be surprised if they don't go from within. Don't know their organization or their minor leaguers, but that would shock me.
St. Louis very much in the wild card race in the National League. Out of play. The 0-2, and Pennington ropes one on the ground. It gets by Kipnis on the big hop, And a 2-out single will keep the inning alive.
Hit number 6 now for the Angels. And that breaking ball looked like it stayed up a little bit. And Pennington stayed back. Yes, it did. You can see his mouth opens up. He knew he hit it good enough for a base hit. So a 2-out single will allow Robinson to come to the plate.
Shane Robinson struck out his first time up. Missed inside. In the air, pretty well struck. Rajay running it down on the warning track to end the inning. Good wheels in center. And Davis keeps it a 1-run game, middle of the 4th. Of baseball. Jose Altuve leads the season in batting, or leads the majors this season in batting average.
Look at that. How about on the road this year? 434. Huh?
It's pretty good.
I'll tell you what, that guy is having some kind of year.
This guy is too. Jose Ramirez taking a strike. Struck out his first time up. But Ramirez rolling into tonight's action with a 15-game hitting streak. And Tyler Skaggs jumps ahead of him quickly, 0-2.
He's found his arm slot, man. He's locking it in.
Ramirez, though, shoots it the other way, and it's 16 in a row with a hit for Ramirez.
On an 0-2 pitch, it looked like another changeup. He hit it off the end of the bat, but he couldn't have placed it any better. So the streak continues for Posey. There it is, a changeup, and it got down. I thought it hit it off the end of the bat. Went on the trademark, and he was thinking that way with 2 strikes. He wasn't going to try to pull anything to stay on it, and he certainly did. 4th hit for the Indians.
Brandon Guyer homered his first time up. He got a breaking ball, and he shot it out of here just to the right of center field.
So far, the Indians in the first 2 games of this series, they have 18 hits so far. 10 of those have come on 2 strikes.
There's the breaking ball, the hanger, and he waited back on it nicely, driving it out of here. And that tied the game at 2. Angels have since come back and regained the lead. Runner goes, and Geyer fouls it off. Ramirez probably had that base stolen.
Yeah, he had a good jump. Well, he came over there, so I'm sure by now Sandy's got a good read on him and what he's looking for the left-hander, because he does a nice job at first base as far as picking up left-handers. You know, he's a former catcher, and the subtleties that catchers can find out something in pitchers, he does a great job. He may not have been a base stealer himself, but he knows how to read a pitcher.
Knows what to look for.
And that's part of the art of stealing a base.
Up the ladder on Geyer. 1 and 2. And there are things that you can see from where he's perched that you can't see from the dugout. You can't see from where we're sitting.
Right.
But with that angle he's got, he can pick up on those little subtleties.
Whatever he picks up, he can relay it to that hitter. Hey, watch this and trust me. He didn't get the great jump that time, but he
still stole it.
Yeah, he outran it. That's the thing. Now you're stealing it on the catcher. He had an average jump, but he ended up outrunning that ball. That's a 4th stolen base, and he has a big high leg kick. And then he gets in, and let's check out the throw from Soto. It was a good pitch to throw on. He just doesn't have enough oomph on that pitch, on the ball to second base, and that's why they're running.
4 stolen bases for the Indians. Down a run here in the 4th. Geyer waits the 2-2 pitch. And almost nicked him. That would not have been a surprise. He's been hit 24 times this year. That leads all of the major leagues.
There you go. You got a guy in scoring position. The running game is in full force tonight.
Uh, 3-2. No, nothing doing.
You know, people don't know that, but the Indians are #1 in the league in stolen bases. They have stolen 88 now.
30 of those belong to Rajai Davis. Kipnis with 11. Lindor with 14. Ramirez now with 15. 3-2. Hit high,
baby.
hit deep, left field. Robinson, though, in the corner, makes the catch in foul ground, and Ramirez will have to hold at second base. Just missed it.
Yeah, I thought he hit it better than that. He stayed at home plate to watch it, and it was hooking. It went down the line, and he just got underneath it. You see, he wasn't going to leave. He's going to stay right there and watch it. That ball started hooking. It was in foul territory when he caught the ball. So he wanted that ball. Hurry up. Now, it's a little farther than you think. He was like in that corner down in Tampa.
He just probably didn't quite get the barrel on it.
Yeah, it got in. It was coming in on him. He wanted that Tampa corner.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted.
Abe Almonte has a chance to tie it now. Time called just
Late
as Skaggs was about to deliver the ball.
Yeah, I don't know why you give a hitter a timeout when they call it right there. That's wrong. I mean, it's late. See, no one's called it. He called timeout, but he I don't think an umpire should give it to him at that point in time. What game was it last night? Somebody tried to call. It was a Cubs game. Tried to call a timeout, and he was literally looking at the umpire, turned around, and by the time the pitcher was thrown, he didn't give it to him. The kid came back, got an RBI single.
Oh, he did?
And he never even barely saw the pitch.
Wow.
It was unbelievable.
That's the pitcher's fault for finding his bat.
He threw him a changeup instead of a fastball.
Almonte almost offered at it, but held up. Ramirez in scoring position at second base with 1 out here in the 4th. Left-hander Tyler Skaggs, the young man's done a nice job to this point. Struck out 4. goes Ramirez. He's off for third. Soto drops the ball. Uncontested steal for Ramirez.
Now it's in his head. It's in Soto's head now. They're off and running, and now he's trying to speed his mechanics up a little bit, so that's putting pressure on the defense. You know, Ramirez had a jump, but now Soto, these guys have been to the track meet, man. They're off and running. So now he's trying to do something. He didn't even catch the ball because he saw him go, and he's thinking about something else. Now they have to bring the infield in. It's a 2-0 count, and it's a great opportunity for Almonte to tie the game. 5 stolen bases on the night.
And the 2-0 to Almonte.
Beautiful.
Base hit center field. 3-3 ball game as Ramirez comes home from third. Almonte with RBI number 8.
Now the Indians are running their way into a couple of runs today. They hit the one long ball, and then their stolen bases have paid dividends.
It's nice to be able to score in different ways. You know, not just rely on the home run ball.
The scouting report of what's going on in tonight's game with Soto catching and this guy on the mound is paying off well. Run. That's right. When you get an opportunity, get on first. We're going to take off. So, I mean, that's always in the back of your mind if you can. But so many pitchers do a great job of controlling the running game that you can't. But they're taking full advantage tonight. Now,
well, let's see what kind of let's see how aggressive Almonte plays this. You know, Almonte's not a guy that has a world-class speed, but he can definitely steal bases.
Well, this is the 3rd time this year that the Indians have stolen 5 in a game. Yeah, so now they have to pay attention, and now you've got the. You know, let's watch. It's Rajay, uncontested there in the first inning. Nobody out. Steals second. The very next pitch, steals third. Then Kipnis took off. He gets the third, and then Ramirez gets second and didn't stop and went to third with no throw. And that's applying pressure to the defense right there, folks. 3rd time in a row.
Well, Almonte stole 6 without being caught last year with the Indians, and he's a 1-for-1 so far this season.
Well, that's a guy that brought that running game to this team this year. He sparked a little influence into that club, and he can talk it.
And Almonte going back to the bag that time.
That's okay. I mean, he has to try and rush his delivery to the plate, and maybe that'll have something to do with his command.
44 out of his 64 pitches have been strikes, so he's been doing a very good job since he walked the leadoff hitter to start the game. And that only walk he issued, of course, came around to score.
That walk turned into a triple in 2 pitches.
Yeah. Yep, it did.
See this, and that if that's his best move, you're not going to pick anybody off. And you know that's what Mike Scioscia, a former catcher, he's got to go ahead and he's got to put the signs on. Hey, we got to throw over there. It's a track meet. We cannot allow that to happen. You see, he's standing behind. There's Alfredo Griffin. He's covering him up, and he puts on all the signs. 17th year in the dugout for Mike Scioscia.
Popped him up. On the infield, the shortstop. Simmons has it 2 away.
Well, the first 12,500 fans will get a Bob Feller bobblehead courtesy of Meritech. That'll be tomorrow, the 3rd game of this series, and all fans can enjoy a pregame block party out in the right field district. Go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Now let's see if Almonte gets a pitch to run on, or if Martinez goes up with that aggressive mindset again. He jumped on Skaggs first time up and doubled down the right field line. He swings again at the first pitch here, but pulls it foul. Mark, when you're at first base and you've got a first baseman, Marte, who doesn't hold the traditional I'm going to stand on the bag,
right.
but he's kind of playing off the bag and he's moving with the runner. Is that any more difficult for the runner?
No, it doesn't matter. You can get off. He's just going to stay and plant his way. Maybe he has a tougher time getting off the bag, you know, after the ball's being thrown to first. Mattingly used to do that sometimes.
Martinez swats one pretty well. Deep right, Calhoun back, makes the catch on the warning track to retire the side. Once again, the Indians use their speed. Jose Ramirez with a single and a couple of steals comes home on an Almonte knock, and we're tied at 3. Is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. 3-3 our score, 5th inning. And the batter will be Yunel Escobar.
The young man's made a stop at Napoli's place.
And a first pitch strike. Escobar 0 for 2, couple of ground ball outs.
Boy, Sarby barehanded, throw it into the seats for a souvenir.
Now, if you're going to preach to your infielders to have soft hands, you've got to be able to back it up.
Yeah, and he did.
He was out doing a lot of work pregame today with Michael Martinez, who was getting the start at shortstop. The 0-2. Smashed right at Kipnis. And there's one away. Let's go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, Carlos Carrasco, in the 2 of his last 3 starts, has had some issues when he's gotten a guy on first base. And he told me, you know, he watches Josh Tomlin hold runners all the time, and he says he does a great job with it. So he's trying to figure out and try to implement that in his game. But what was happening was pitches were being called, and they weren't thinking the ball was going over to first base, and he was getting out of rhythm, guys. Now, it happened in Yankee Stadium, and he said he heard all the boos, and the boos kind of changed what he was doing during that game. But it also happened against Washington. So basically, the guys just tried to make it easy for him. So if you're going to go over, let us know. If you're not, go to the plate and don't worry about the guy at first base.
Yeah, well, Tomlin, that's been his nature all along, is to throw to first base. He's always been very good at doing it. For Carrasco, I don't know what he feels like, but you know what? You can just hold the ball and step off. You don't have to just throw to first base.
Well, the odd thing is, for both of you guys to know that, he's kind of come about, and really come of age by being set up like this all the time. It's not like he ever goes into a windup, so that's the oddball part of this right now.
That is pretty strange, where he feels he has to throw to first base. You don't have to. You can just step off. Program. You should concentrate on the hitter anyway, if they're not running on you.
Cole Calhoun has been a thorn in Carrasco's side tonight. He's got him down 0-2 here. Calhoun homered in the first. He doubled and scored in the third. That put the Angels ahead briefly. Downstairs. 1-2. Congratulations to Francisco Mejia. 49 in a row with a hit.
Boy, oh boy, that's amazing. I'm surprised we're not hearing more about that.
Me too.
Out on the the national level, because the 49 game hitting streak down in the I don't care where it's at. It's unheard of.
Doesn't matter. No matter where it's at, Arch, you're right.
It does not matter. I can't believe nobody's jumping on this more.
Titmus throws him out, 2 down. I mean, I saw a story in the New York Post, and the whole story was he's getting awfully close to where DiMaggio was. I mean, he's sitting on 49. He's going looking for 50 tomorrow.
30 is a major league where that's when people start falling short.
Oh yeah.
This kid's almost at 50. 49 right now. Yeah. That should be off the charts.
Now, congratulations to Mejia.
Keep it going, kid. Good luck.
Absolutely. And he's just 20. I don't think he's even turned 21 years old yet. So imagine.
Wow. Imagine what he goes home with every night thinking about.
Yeah. Maybe he's so young, and maybe that, what do they say, ignorance is bliss. Maybe he's not really.
Yeah, but your teammates got to talk about it, and people, you're calling home. Oh, did you get a hit? Okay, how many's that? Yeah. No, you can't hide from stuff like this nowadays.
Yeah, he won't turn 21 until just before Halloween.
That's unbelievable. 49 game hitting streak. That's very special.
Mike Trout doubled and scored in the first, struck out in the third. Swung on and missed. That was a pretty nasty slider. That thing went straight down. Watch this. Just watch the movement on this.
Well, straight down.
And
that's the thing. No, that's a good slider that went straight down. And you know what happened? He's such a good low ball hitter. He thought he could get to it, but that thing went straight down. He had some tilt to it.
Oh. There's a breaking ball, and he just rung him up with it. I mean, he wasn't looking for that at all. That's 6 strikeouts for Carlos Carrasco. And Mike Trout saw a little bit of everything in that AB. 5th inning here at Progressive Field. That was almost to the backstop. Rajay awaits the 1-0 pitch. Blowing away, and now it's 3-1. The Angels bullpen is quiet for the moment, but Skaggs goes over the 70 pitch mark. That could change.
He knows he doesn't want to walk this guy. Look for the heater. There you go.
Line drive and a base hit in the left.
Nice job. Good at bat. You know, he wasn't going to mess around. He had to throw him a strike there because Rajay, he's going to make him hit his way on. Well, he did because he got the 3-1 fastball. So watch the pitch, the location. He says, there you go. It was his fault for falling behind, and Rajay took advantage of it. So we'll see if he applies the running game. I say he will.
Skaggs has not gone over 100 pitches yet this year.
And you can certainly understand that.
A throw over to Rajay as he is easily back to the bag down to Andre.
Hey, Matt, coming into the game, Soto was 6 of 21 and throwing out base runners. That's about 29%. It's about average in Major League Baseball. Tonight, Indians are 5 for 5 in stolen bases. So, Arch, once one of the fastest men in the country, is it the steals coming off of Skaggs or is it coming off of Soto?
Both right now because Skaggs can't hold the runners. You know, there was a quick pitch, but now when he has that slide step, Andre, it doesn't seem like his control's there. When he has to lift that leg up is when the Indians are going. So he might be tipping something, and that's applying pressure, I think, to Soto, who hasn't thrown anybody out. Now he doesn't know what to do. And he may go out there and say, hey, look, just stay within yourself. If they steal, they steal. You're not going to stop them.
And how funny is it? You know, you normally think the left-hander's a tough guy to run on.
They're not. No, they're programmed, man. Sometimes they're the easiest ones to run on. He's a long, lanky guy, and he's got the high leg kick. And he's got a slow curveball. Does he want to throw that pitch when you got speed on the bases? A lot goes into it. That's the game of cat and mouse right now. See, he can get back easily. That's his best move right there.
For the most part, it has appeared, at least from where we sit, that he sort of telegraphs his move to first base. He's not really disguising it well. Let's see if Rajay is off to the races. Throw over again.
You know, he looks home, comes up with the same thing and goes to first base. You know, there's always little signs. If he looks at you, he's going to go home. If he looks home, he's going to come to first. But there's little nuances that they can pick up. You know, he's not only given up one stolen base prior to this start, but it's a track meet. They must have been watching the Olympics. See, he got a late jump back to first and still went in standing up. And with that first baseman, that's a step or a step and a half off the base. Look at, see, by the time he's got to tag, he's got to come all the way around, Matt, where he stands to tag the guy. He's got him again.
There's the throw.
See, and that was the breaking ball. He's got to continue to throw his pitch. And right now, Soto's shaking his head. That's Davis's third. That's the Indians' sixth. So that's the first time for 6 in the game.
They're 6 for 6. And remember, the last time Rajay was in this position, then the very next pitch he stole third.
And he was looking all the way going to second. He saw it was a curveball.
Now the 2-0 to Kipnis.
Well, look where the shortstop's playing, right behind him.
Pulls it foul.
Might have been fair on the other side of the field.
10 times in Rajay's career he has stolen 3 bases in a game. He does have a 4 stolen base game as well, and that was 3 years ago. Look at him. I think he's playing possum. He's trying to get them to think that he's tired, but he's not.
Well, it's the middle infielder's job to keep the guy close to second base. You know, and I mean, that's when they can get a walking lead. He's going to stay right behind him. Kipnis has that whole shortstop hole. Although in this situation, you normally try to pull the ball to get your guy over to third base. But his first base hit came to left field, right over the shortstop. It is really gonna. It has to affect his rhythm, his tempo going into pitching. When you have those guys out there just to worry about.
Oh, it caught the outside corner. Kipnis dismayed at that call. Instead of being in the catbird seat 3-1, now it's 2-2.
Well, he comes back. And, yeah, that's not a hittable strike.
Throws that one in. Davis easily back. If you're Andrelton Simmons, you're almost like, please don't throw it because I can see that ball going into center field.
Well, and plus you come back with your spikes, you know, so he can't put a knee down or anything. He's going to have to wait to tag you. Watch him come set and go quickly here after that throw. Look at dig and look.
Kipnis smacks it into left field. It's deep and it's over the head of Robinson all the way to the wall. Coming home with the go-ahead runners, Rajay Davis, and Jason Kipnis has driven in a pair tonight. It's 4-3 Cleveland.
Well, and drove that ball to left center, and the route that Robinson ran to get after it, I don't think he realized it had that much carry to it. But Kip has good power. That's the breaking ball he got him out the last time with, and Kip was waiting for it there. He was a little short on his angle. He didn't cut it deep enough.
You're right. He went straight across.
Yeah, and then had to go back. So instead of going back and having to work your way back in, but Kip takes it. It's a double. It's an RBI, and more. Look at him. Look at the look. Like a cat burglar over there.
That's Boom.
That's Boom. Look at him. That's beautiful.
Now Francisco Lindor, who is 0 for 2. Takes a strike.
First lead of the night for the Indians.
Foul right back. And without question, the stolen base has been the key.
Oh, God, yes.
Not that Rajay couldn't score from first on a double to left, but the stolen base has played a huge role because it might have changed the way
they pitched.
Skaggs was throwing to Kipnis.
Yeah, no question. He's had to throw to first, to second. It's taken him out of his rhythm. Look at this.
Loop to right field. That's going to get down. Coming around third, Kipnis with a full head of steam. He'll try to score. Calhoun started the plate. Save.
I'll tell you what, that was a pretty good throw by Calhoun. He kept it down, and it was so low, Lindor had to duck, who rounded first base. I thought he was going to continue to go to second, but you can't run when it's that low. But that ball hit, and I mean really skipped. He just fought it off. I didn't know if he was going to make the throw because Kipnis had a good jump, but he gets that one hop. Watch, Lindor goes down, and over at first base, Marte lets it go. Watch, there it is. He knows it's going. Let's go. Got to go home. Good throw, nice base running, and it's a 3-run inning and 3 straight hits.
Still nobody out. Still no action in the Angel bullpen. Napoli pops it foul out of play.
I think that's because maybe last night this guy's going to get his work as long as he can go. You know what I mean? Last night has something to do with it.
He went through 5 relievers, 6 pitchers in all.
And two more games to go.
Mike Napoli. He had a line drive out and a ground out so far tonight.
Yeah, the Indians are in attack mode.
Mike Sarbaugh is having fun tonight, directing traffic.
He's going to have to get a rub down on his arm from waving all the base runners.
Cuts and misses. It's 0-2. Last night he waved 14 home.
I want to send along some congratulations to Glenn and Myrna Freemark of Malmy. 61st anniversary they are celebrating. Congratulations. And Betty McKellop of Tiffin is turning 88. Happy birthday.
The 0-2 to Knapp. Wow, he got on top of a high pitch and blasted it into left field. And Lindor's going to try to go to third because the ball went over everybody's head. What a great read by Lindor.
Yes, absolutely. It is. That was a great read. When he kept going, I was sort of shocked. But he saw it was going to miss his man. Missed the mark. And watch Napoli get on top of this. Boom, high fastball. Smokes it. And Lindor has this read. Robinson throwing it in, and he could see the air underneath it. It was going nowhere. Boy, what a mistake that was. Watch the read. Oh, great. These guys are running the bases. This is, you know what? This is a clinic you're putting on tonight.
Well, you know what's funny? As I'm sitting here watching this unfold, it takes me back to the 2002 World Champion Angels.
Oh, when they go first to third, yes, you're right.
They took the extra base, they ran, they were aggressive, they were always putting the pressure on the opposition. And they had some guys in the middle that could hit the ball out of the park and take you deep as well.
Well, it has been a clinic on the bases tonight for the Indians. I mean, they've done it mostly on Tyler Skaggs. This is just the stealing the bases. 6, that's a season high for them. That's an error on Robinson on the throw. He airmailed the third baseman. He had no place where it was going. But he set the tempo in the first inning with his first at-bat, down 0-2, and drew, I think, about, what was it, 11 or 12 pitch walk.
Yeah. I think it was 11, but I don't remember exactly. Great at-bat to start the game. So 2 on, nobody out. Jose Ramirez the batter. Bullpen just now getting hot for the Angels. And Ramirez staying red hot. With a base hit his last time up to extend his hitting streak to 16 games.
When you apply pressure to a defense the way the Indians have tonight, they have no choice but to score, because now the infield they're on their toes. They got to wait for everything to happen.
Slowly chopped to third. They're going to go for 2. Now the throw's coming home, and the ball gets away. So Lindor's going to be safe back at third, and Ramirez is safe at first, and there's 1 out.
You know, he did another good job. He forced him to not turn the double play. They came home, and he stopped. He was going to get in the rundown, but here he comes. And he could have continued with that throw. You see, now they're rushing their throws. They're throwing it all over the place now. but a good job to get back and keep it first and third.
So with the score 5-3. Brandon Geyer steps to the plate. He homered. His first time up tonight. Fouled out to deep left in the fourth. And Geyer swings through a high pitch. Strike one. Not too far away from having 2 home runs on the night. The ball he fouled out on was deep. It was in the left field corner.
Right now you can let that run in from third. Make it a 6-3 game.
Ramirez steals second base uncontested as the Indians continue to run wild. That's 3 steals for Ramirez, 3 for Rajay Davis, and 1 for Jason Kipnis. Now base hit could get you a couple, but as you said, you just want to get that run home from third at the very least here.
Yep.
Geyer though in the hole 0-2. That's over near the on deck circle and just over the screen. Mike Scioscia, Charlie Nagy. They're on edge right now. Indians are on the verge of potentially blowing this game open.
Well, if there's any scouts who are watching this game, I know that they're going to be writing down whoever they play, and this guy's on the mound. They will try, if they can run it all, will continue to try and apply that when he's on the mound. That's what happened to Lester in the playoffs when he was with Oakland. And he had the lead going into Kansas City. Remember, that's when they went wild. When they
that's right, Kansas City.
Kansas City took off and they started stealing bases. They ran their way back into the ball game. And you know why teams don't run on Lester Moore is beyond me sometimes.
0-2 pitch. Geyer with a base hit into right field. That's going to score at least 1. Lindor's home. Here comes Ramirez. He scores 2. Geyer's caught in a rundown, and they will tag him out at first. 2 down in the inning, but the Indians scored 2 more, make it a 4-run 5th inning, and they now lead it 7-3.
Well, there you go. You get the 2 in, and after that stolen base, they were aggressive. Mike Sarbaugh says, we're going to run. Let's go. Get down, but
second time he threw that big looping curve, and Geyer hit him out of the park first time he saw it. That time, shot it to right for a 2-run single. And he's thrown out to end the play, which had a lot of action.
I guarantee you, Tito's going to love talking about the base running after this game. It has been outstanding. And they've scored in 4 of the first 5 innings. He had a 1-2-3 third, but anytime they've had somebody on base, it's been let's go to the races.
It has been almost 20 years since the Indians stole 6 bases in a ball game. Or I should say 7. They stole 7 in a game against Oakland in 1996. 1 more would equal the club record, which was set in 1917.
Yeah, you don't see this is a rare game in today's game with the way they're running the bases and stealing bases.
Back in '96, it was Kenny Lofton with 3. Omar Vizquel had a pair. Julio Franco and Jose Vizcaíno each stole one in that game.
Okay.
And the fact that we're only in the 5th, they might have a chance to tie the club record tonight.
They might, but they may have to call off the dogs here, but they keep scoring.
Yeah.
They have 5 hits in the inning, Matt, and 3 of them have come when they were down 0-2.
Well, the Indians continue to keep the pressure on with the running game, but they're also swinging the bats well. They lead it 7-3. If not one of the greatest Indians of all time. Let's take a look at one of the all-time greats in Major League Baseball with our Levin player profile. Albert Pujols, 11th all-time in homers.
Yeah.
Closing in on 1,800 runs batted in.
Boy, that's a boatload. The way he's swinging the bat, you think he could get to 3,000 hits if his legs can hold up.
Yeah.
I mean, when he has had some injuries with the Angels, it's been because of either his feet problem. They had something in the foot and legs, and plantar fasciitis is what it was. That's exactly right. Boy, this guy has been one of the best hitters around for years.
Foul right back. Well, you know, it's interesting. You think about where he's at in his career. And maybe it's because you watch him and he doesn't play the field and he can't run. But he's only 36 years old. It's not like he's over 40 and it's still hanging on. Swung out and missed. Carrasco strikes him out, number 7 for Carlos.
Well, that slider's been pretty good for Carlos. It's starting to go straight down. He's been mixing in his curveball, and I think that offense has just gave him a new spark to go out there and start dealing. He came out early. They had 4 hits in the first off him. Started to make some adjustments, and now he can just take a deep breath and say, all right, boys, let's go. And he gave him all the offensive help he needed.
Andrelton Simmons 0 for 2 tonight, taking a called strike. Line drive, base hit. 1-out single for Andrelton Simmons. We go back to the studios for an in-game update with Ashley Collins.
Thanks, Matt. The Yankees hosting the Rays. A-Rod's last game as a Yankee. First inning, Tampa Bay up 1-0, and it was Alex Rodriguez. He doubled to deep center field. That would score Brett Gardner to tie things up. Since then, the Rays have taken a 2-1 lead. They're leading it right now, top of the fourth, guys.
All right, thanks, Ashley. Here's Giovanni Soto, 1 for 2. And he takes a called strike. Ball and a strike to count on Soto.
I really don't think they'll be running in this situation unless they absolutely know they can steal a base here when you're down 4 going into the 6th inning.
Ron Renicky, the coach at third.
That's what we were talking about with Andre earlier. You know, he's getting it. I don't know if those signs are coming from the bench. I wouldn't think so.
To throw over, you mean?
Yeah. You know, the way it is right now, you can't afford to make it out on the bases. You're down 4 runs. It's not like Carrasco's easy to run on.
I think it probably goes back a little bit to what Andre talked about.
Exactly. That's my point.
There goes again. And out goes
See,
Perez.
I'm telling you, it's in his head right now. Perez said, "What are you doing? Let's go. We're not throwing to first base." Simmons has stolen 4 out of 5. I can understand that, and if it's a tighter game, but not down 4. You can't make a mistake out on the base pass right now. Well, the last time it happened in New York, Callaway had to come to the mound, and he sort of had a smile on his face. If he throws over again, I wouldn't be surprised to see him. Carlos was in a good rhythm too.
Puzzling.
I don't understand it. I really don't.
He threw over again. No, Mickey. I think Mickey's puzzled.
Yeah, he got to. He's talking to Tito right now. There's something going on. See, there's Tomlin over there talking with Sarball. Look, Tomlin is a different animal when it comes to the running game. That's exactly what they're talking about. It slowed his whole pace down.
But the scoreboard dictates.
Again, he's going out.
What you do with the running game, and here comes Mickey.
Yeah, you have to. There's something going on here. You can see it. We see it sitting up here. Why do you have to throw to first base? You hold the ball. And if you don't like it, step off. Well, there's a hitting coach talking to a pitcher about it. You know, after Callaway came out in New York when he threw over there 3, 4, 5 times, see, he's smiling in this one. And then he settled down. But whatever it was, I don't know how he got into throwing over there all the time. And now they just got him 4 runs. You want to get out, get 3 outs, and get your offense right back into the dugout. You're not going to mess around throwing to first.
Don't look at me. I don't know what to say. I'm done. I'm at a loss. I think right now Andrelton Simmons saying, "Man, it's really hot. Could you please stop?"
You know what he
throwing
should do?
over here?"
He should stay at first base, keep his foot on the base like Little League, and see if he throws over. He's not going anywhere.
In the dirt. And it's 2-2.
Well, whatever Mickey said, he just told Tito over in the dugout. I'm sure that's going to be something to be addressed.
Well, it's not like he's had a problem with the run. I could see if he's given up like 20 stolen bases in a row or something.
My point.
And he's out looking. 2 down.
Number 8. There it is. Fastball up. You can see where Perez tried to snag it down a little bit. But
remember early in the game?
Yeah.
That was same pitch. He called that a ball, and we were like, wow.
Well, it changes throughout the course of the game sometimes. Well, they're laughing about it over there, but I don't think Carrasco's laughing about it.
I'm sure they're laughing at whatever Carlos's explanation was as to why he was throwing over there.
Be interesting to find out. The real reason.
Yeah, we may not find out.
Yeah, exactly.
Want to know the count on Jeffrey Marte, and that's 8 throws to first base by Carrasco.
I truly do not understand it. And I'm done. I'm not talking about it anymore. But I know one thing: his defense is standing out there. They're getting on their heels.
I think Simmons is about ready to charge the mound. Wait, like you said, what he ought to do is just stand on the base. Or steal second. Missed inside. And it's 2-0. There's a liner caught by Martinez as he dove into shallow left field for the final out of the inning. Carrasco has struck out 8, middle of the 6th, Cleveland 7, the Angels 3. Man in the dugout talking to Josh Tomlin about his Josh Tomlin impersonation. Tomlin's not as, I don't think Josh is impressed.
But you know what? He's the one that's trying to get through to Carrasco and say, what are you doing? They can laugh about it. Well, KeyBank Kids tickets are just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. It's located in the family deck at Progressive Field by the Kids Clubhouse. Tickets are only available at Indians.com.
The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made for Deolis Guerra, who comes on in relief of Tyler Skaggs, who went 5 innings tonight. Guerra making his 27th appearance. Done a very nice job with a 2.70 ERA. He's got Perez, Martinez, and Rajay Davis due up here. Roberto is 0 for 2 on the night, and he checks his swing and fouls it off. Guerra's 27 years old. Seventh game on the road trip, and it's the 4th time that Guerra has pitched. And that buzzed his tower a little bit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Guerra, a guy who's bounced around quite a bit for a young pitcher. Foul territory. Marte. 1 down. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Cole Calhoun homered in the first. Brennan Geyer with a solo shot for the Indians in the second, tied the game at 2. In the 5th, the Indians broke it open, scoring 4 times on 5 hits. The real story of the night, the Indians 7 for 7 in stolen bases, 1 shy of the franchise record. The guy on your left, Jose Ramirez, has stolen 3. Rajay Davis, the leadoff man, not pictured, has also stolen 3.
Gives Jose 17 on the year.
Oh, 1. There's a ball hit pretty well, deep center field. Trout going back. He's there. He's got it. 2 away. Doubleheader tomorrow on Fox Sports 1. Pirates, Dodgers, Angels, Tribe. You can only see it on FS1. The action begins tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern. Watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Top of the order, Rajay Davis. Rajay with 3 steals tonight. He's got a hit, a walk, 2 runs scored. As far back as the records go, the Indians have never had 2 players steal 3 bases in the same game.
Never?
As far back as the records go.
What's that, 1913?
Bingo. Remember that chant they used to do? Wasn't it the Rangers hadn't won a Stanley Cup since like 1940? They used to chant 1940. We're going to start chanting 1913.
No, I don't remember that for the Rangers if you're a big hockey fan.
Rajay lays off. It's close. No cigar. 2-0.
This guy's got a pretty good changeup, though.
Here's the other thing too, Arch. If Rajay gets aboard here with 2 outs, say he walks,
right?
Would a steal even be?
I don't think so. I don't think he'd take off just to, you know, do it, pat it, and say no.
Up 4. It's not like the game's out of reach.
This guy steals it when he need it.
Yeah,
that's what makes him good.
Yeah.
You don't need it right now, so there's no reason to run unless Kipnis gets buried in the count. I don't see any reason to.
Could be a moot point, but we'll wait and see. 3-0 count.
I want to see him get on and see what does happen. We've seen some strange things tonight to this point.
Guerra painting the outside corner. Upstairs, ball 4.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Rajay to first. Jason Kipnis to the plate.
There's been only 2 walks tonight, and it's been both to this guy, the guy you don't want to walk. He started off right from the first inning, taking off. Very next pitch, he goes from third, makes it easily, and it was a gift run. Kipnis got a base hit, and then the next time he gets on, steals second again. There's his 3. And Rajay doesn't mess around. If he's going to go, he usually goes early. He doesn't wait, go deep in the count. And this guy has a very good changeup, so you know, we'll see what his move is to the plate.
Jason Kipnis takes, it's up high, ball 1. Out goes Giovanni Soto.
You know, now Soto going to go back out and talk with him. And, you know, I think hey, if you get a jump, and he's quick to the plate, but he does have the change up, and he held that ball for a while. I just don't think he's going to go in this situation. I could be wrong.
Kipnis with a base hit into right field. Rajay on his way to third. Indians at the corners with 2 down on the 6th. Jason Kipnis with his 3rd hit of the night.
Yeah, he saved that hole for Kipnis, and he gets a base hit, keeps it rolling. 11 hits for the Indians. He goes down, and that might have been a little change up too. Good swing. So the Indians continue to apply the pressure with 2 outs. Yeah, a little change up.
Now Francisco Lindor, 1 for 3, an RBI and a run scored. And he takes a strike. Lindor with a ground ball up the middle. It's through. Rajay Davis scores. Kipnis goes to third. 8-3 Cleveland. And Kipnis was running on the pitch.
Well, another changeup, and these guys are that's obviously his best pitch. We haven't seen a lot of this guy. We did see him when we were out there in LA, but they're staying back on the changeup looking for it. So with 2 outs, they continue to do damage. The walk, 2 base hits, they make it an 8-3 game.
Mike Napoli is 1 for 3 on the night. Lindor takes off. Here's the throw down. Save. And scoring on the throw is Jason Kipnis as Lindor goes to third. The Indians have tied the franchise record with their 8th stolen base of the night, and it leads to yet another run as they increase their advantage to 9-3.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe they're still running now. You've got a 6-run lead now. They had a 5-run lead. The throw, Soto goes into center field, so not only will they steal another base, but they pick up their 2nd error. Sooner or later, you got to call the dogs off, don't you?
Well, I think you're in a situation now with a 6-run lead, 6th inning. I think, yeah, probably. Napoli went around. That's the problem with baseball. So we've seen so many goofy and crazy things happen through the years. You just never know when a lead is truly safe. Although you have to feel pretty good about the way this thing's playing out. Carrasco's throwing the ball well. The Indians have run at will, and now they've taken the momentum of the ball game. They've scored 7 straight runs in this contest. That's a breaking ball in for a strike. Rajai Davis leading the way with 3 steals. Ramirez with 3. Lindor and Kipnis each with 1. The last time the Indians stole 8 bases in a ball game was August 27th, 1917, in a game in Cleveland against the Washington Senators. And in that ball game, Tris Speaker stole a base. Bill Wamsgans stole a base.
So almost 100 years ago.
Brago Roth, you remember him, right?
Yeah, former roommate of mine.
He stole 4 on his way to 51 that year. Napoli fouls another ball off. And Joe Harris stole 2 that day. And you know what's great? You go back and look at the pictures of those guys that played in 1970.
Yeah.
Those were
17.
I mean, 1970. No, 1970
yeah,
as well.
Thanks a lot,
look
pal.
at those guys, too. No, these guys that played in 1917, they look like mug shots. I mean, these were some tough dudes that played the game back then. Moon Harris. Brago Roth was also known as the Globetrotter. You gotta love that, right?
Yeah, the nicknames back then were, yeah, they were awesome.
Wamby was Bill Wamsgans, and of course Tris Speaker. He's in the Hall of Fame, one of the all-time greats. The Gray Eagle. The 1-2 pitch bounced in front of the plate. So yeah, we've seen something tonight that hasn't happened
in almost
in 100 years.
Right. Do you think anybody down in the seats knows that?
Probably not. Well, here's the other thing too, and this goes back to both you and I in our career as broadcasters. Herbie Score used to sit down every night, and people used to say, well, how do you do this? You know, do you get bored? He's like, you know, every night I sit down, I say to myself, I might see something I've never seen before.
Right. And it's very true. You
does
can go to
play
the
out.
ballpark. Yes, it does. It may, you know, It's not every night, and it may not play out every homestand, but I'll tell you what, there's something we do see different every night.
Swung on and missed. Napoli goes fishing for one, couldn't come up with it. Tribe tacks on 2 more, and they etch their name into the franchise record books. Baseball is brought to you by the Injury Lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. By Ford, built Ford tough. And by Firelands Regional Medical Center. 9-3 Cleveland, 7th inning. Carlos Carrasco will face Cliff Pennington, Shane Robinson, and Yunel Escobar. Cliff Pennington, a base hit his last time up in the 4th inning. Pops this one straight up. Kipnis calls for it. Second baseman settles under it. 1 away. Carlos Carrasco had a little shaky start to this game when the Angels scored a couple of runs on 4 hits in the opening frame, but he settled in after that.
Well, he came out with more fastballs than anything else, and they hit him around. Then he went to that slider, and he slowed everything down, and he started locating the pitches, and he has a terrific slider tonight. 8 strikeouts, hasn't walked anybody. Had a little offensive support. That always helps.
Big hop for Michael Martinez. 2 down. Takes us to the top of the order, and Yunel Escobar.
For the Angels, number 6, Yunel Escobar.
Escobar is grounded out a couple of times, and he's also lined out. Carrasco retired the side in order in the 2nd and in the 5th. And a first pitch strike in there. He's trying to equal as long as string of retiring successive batters tonight.
Jammed him on that curveball. It's going to go for a hit.
Ramirez with a grab and throw, but not in time, as Escobar will stop the string at 4 straight set down. Carrasco has retired 5 in a row in the ball game earlier.
You know, it jammed him. He just didn't get enough of it. He jammed himself on that curveball on the inside part of the plate, and Ramirez makes the play, throws anyway, and just he was playing deep. Escobar beats it out for a base hit.
Jose Valdez pitched last night. Right now it's Cole Calhoun, who homered in the first, doubled and scored in the third. Brian Shaw up behind Carlos Carrasco, who's at 95 pitches on the night. Bullseye, strike one. Just missed inside, 1-1. Slowly tapped. Carrasco takes his time, throws him out, and on 9 pitches he retires the side. Stretch time in Cleveland. The Indians lead it by 6. Grab a seat at the Indians roundtable with Hall of Famers Kenny Lofton, Sam McDowell, Mike Hargrove, and the newest inductee Jim Thome. They'll share some great stories from their careers here in Cleveland. Indians roundtable right after Indians Live tonight on Sports Time Ohio. And they get a new pitcher now for the Angels as Jose Valdez comes into the fray. And G-Man Choi has come into the ball game as well.
People having some fun tonight. Indians with 9 more runs again tonight. We got a rock and blast show after the ball game.
Jose Ramirez will lead it off. Then it's Brandon Guyer and Abe Almonte.
Well, Tommy gave me an interesting note. The Indians now with that 1 home run tonight have 149 on the season. 75 have come off the bats. The left-handers, 74 for the right-handers.
There's a long fly ball. Deep right field. It is gone. Jose Ramirez with his 8th home run of the series, or 8th home run of the season. He's homered in back-to-back games here in the series now.
They've got 76 for the left-handers, and he dropped the head of the bat on that baseball, and it shot out of here. He is locked in, folks. They're into double digits. Boy, right there in his wheelhouse. Good swing. This kid has been fun to watch.
Brandon Geyer takes a high pitch, ball 1. Geyer takes low, 2-0. Pretty good crowd here tonight. Expecting, I think they're close to a sellout tomorrow. Swung on and missed. The heat miser. Although it's got a little more of a blonde tint to it now.
It's been hot.
Coming out of the All-Star break, it was straight orange.
Well, the way he's been swinging the bat, it may be purple by tomorrow. He's red hot.
He can do no wrong.
They're out at the corner out in right field having fun.
(10-3) Cleveland. Not a play. What'd you say? 150 home runs now?
Yes, 150.
32 of them have come on the first pitch. And that's tied for the 3rd most in the majors.
Okay, I know Tampa was there earlier this year. Are they up top there with first pitch? Tampa's 1, Baltimore 2. Okay.
And the 2-2. Fouled right back.
The Indians have done in this series just a good job with 2 strikes hitting. They have hit the ball all over the ballpark. They've had a number of 0-2 hits. Ty Van Berkeley, the hitting coach, has got to love that. Oh, and by the way, that's right, they've stolen 8 bases tonight.
It's like the Lumber and Lightning Company.
Those Angels have spent a lot of time in the field in the first 2 games of this series.
And they've lost 7 in a row coming into tonight. Mike Scioscia. Is in his 17th season. The longest tenured manager in the game. You know, it's hard to believe, Arch. When I think of Sparky Anderson, I think of Cincinnati Reds' Big Red Machine. He spent more time with the Tigers. 17 straight seasons he's been with the Tigers.
Exactly. Yeah, well, he came up and that was the claim to fame with the Big Red Machine. That's what they remember.
And Brandon Geyer draws a walk. Let's bring in Andre.
Well, you mentioned Mike Scioscia, 17 years as the manager of the Angels. And I had a talk when we were in Seattle, and we were talking about a different sport. We were talking to Terry Francona about a voice and how long a voice can be heard. And every sport is different, because we were talking about NBA coaches at the time. And Tito said, your voice can, at some point in time, get old to players. And players change, but sometimes you do have to move on. But, you look at Mike Scioscia, you look at the record the last 2 years, and even hearing him talk tonight prior to this game about their losing streak, it's hard to quantify, is it him, or has it been the injuries the last 2 years that have made this team kind of fall to the wayside?
I think it's a combination. They don't have young players coming up through their minor league system. They tried to develop going through free agency. They've made some bad signings, and it's come back to hurt them. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the young players, they had Mark Trumbo just a few years ago.
1-0 pitch. In the air, left field, drifting back is Robinson. And he's going to make the catch, and that'll push Geyer back to first base, one down. I guess I look at it like this. When the Angels won the World Championship, and for several years thereafter, they were winning the West every year. They were in the playoffs, either as division champion or as a wild card team. What they seemed to, at that time, have developed a formula, a style of play. They had some power guys, but they always had those guys who would go first to third on you, that ran the bases aggressively. They never seemed to beat themselves. They were always sound defensively.
Yeah.
And they had good pitching. Let's face it, the game begins and ends. If you don't have the 5 guys to go out there and keep you in games, I don't care who you are as a manager, you're not going to win much. But somewhere along the line, and this could be when they changed ownership, when they changed over general managers, maybe the philosophy above Scioscia changed, maybe he changed at some point. They got away from that kind of a team, and they went for the star player, the big name, maybe more of the power type hitters, and they kind of got away from what his strength was managing as far as the kind of players he had. And
they were pests. You hated to face them because you talk about applying pressure. They'd go first to third, second to home, and they'd always be running. You're right. But then when you go out and you get on that open market and you sign some free agents, how's C.J. Wilson working out for them? Now Jared Weaver, who we're going to see in Sunday's game, he's throwing 83. Hey, this guy, he earned his pay, but he lost a lot on his fastball. He was a top-notch pitcher just a few years ago.
Well,
Hamilton.
The Vernon Wells trade was a disaster.
Yeah, you go out and sign Hamilton, and they're paying Hamilton to play for the Rangers, who's not even playing there.
2 down here in the 7th inning, and up comes Michael Martinez. And look, the Angels play in a market where the Dodgers are always going to be the king. And so for them, even when they won the World Championship, they were fighting and scratching and clawing for print, for recognition, for, hey, don't forget about us down here.
Right.
So I think Artie Moreno came in as an owner, and I think he looked at it and said, man, we've got to make some splashy moves just to get the attention of the fan, of the marketplace.
They went from the Anaheim Angels to the Los Angeles Angels.
That's right.
They started doing all his billboards trying to go down south in L.A.
1 ball, 1 strike on Martinez.
They did have the nice little thing going on back in the day with the rally monkey when that first came out, didn't they? The timing of that was incredible. Was it foul?
But I mean, really, you think about it, for a franchise that's only been around since what, 1961, they've had some great teams, some great players, and some just fantastic seasons.
Yeah, and the best one in those years is standing out in center field, and he's only 25 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're saying to yourself, okay, they're struggling out, but they have probably the best player in the game.
I mean, I feel bad sometimes heaping too much praise on Trout because he is only 25. He's got so much more career left in him.
But he's lived up to it. I mean,
the burden of expectations, I can't imagine what it must be like for him.
I think, if I remember right, didn't he make his first major league start in this ballpark? And there was a ball hit, I'm thinking, in the first inning. Down the left field line, he was playing left field, and he dove for the ball, missed it by about 8 or 10 feet. I'm thinking to myself, wow, this kid, it is his first game. Little did we know he was going to be.
Little did we know is right.
I mean, he came out and he played like he could catch everything, and
was that because they had Josh Hamilton in center field at that point? Maybe
it could have been, but I remember.
I do remember the game you're talking about.
Yeah.
Martinez out looking, and that will end the inning. 7 complete. Indians get another run. Jose Ramirez going deep. 10-3 Cleveland. Presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Oh yeah, it's a party tonight. Friday night at Progressive Field, the joint is jumping. 10-3 Cleveland. And here in the 8th inning, Brian Shaw coming on in relief of Carlos Carrasco, who went 7 innings, allowed 3 runs on 8 hits, did not walk a batter, struck out 8. And Brian Shaw has the heart of the order here in the 8th inning. Lonnie Chisenhall taking over at first base for Mike Napoli.
You know, it's in games like this, in the streak that the Indians are in, where Tito has to find and search to get time off for his everyday guys, the Napolis. That's why Lindor was DHing today. You know, Kipnis has to, and every once in a while you're going to have to find Ramirez as well, because he's been there every day.
Francisco Lindor will take over the team lead in games played, with Santana sitting out tonight. This is game number 112 for Frankie, even though he's just DHing tonight. But I was kind of joking with Carlos Santana before the game. I said, man, all the games you've played over the years, you play every day, you're never hurt. And I said, you get knocked out of the lineup sitting on the bench by a foul ball.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Ground ball to third. And Jose Ramirez throws out Trout. And that's when he reminded me, he said, you know, I did have a couple of concussions from back in his days when he was catching. But he said, other than that, he goes, my body physically, I've never really had anything that's kept me out of the lineup from my body, you know,
There's
torso.
not many guys that can say that.
Any of that kind
There's
of stuff.
not many guys that can say that. I'll tell you, you love guys. I mean, you take them for granted when they can go out there and a manager can write your name in that lineup every day and they don't want days off. You love it.
Yeah, dependability is something that's hard to find. I've said before, there's Major League Baseball is unnatural. The demands it puts on the human body to play every single day for 6 months
now
straight.
you get something wrong with you, and they're going to err on the side of caution. The trainers now, I mean, they won't let you do anything. You know, it's tough for a player to say, I'm sore, but I'm going to play anyway. It's okay. I could play my way through it. You used to have to, if you wanted to come out of the lineup, you would have to go in the manager's office, look him in the eye, and say, Skip, I can't play tonight, man. My arm's sore. I could use a day off. Today, it's not the player that goes in and tells him that. It's the trainer that goes in, because they're in the trainer's room and they tell him. So it's different.
And a lot of those sort of protocols were put into place for good reason, because you have to protect the player from himself.
That's true too.
Because you may not remember this, but when you were a player, you're programmed to play. You don't want to sit. You don't want to come out of the lineup, and you may be doing yourself some detriment, but you also might be hurting the club if you're not really at 100%.
Well, there's a fine line that a manager has to read, and he has to know. And the manager is going to say, I know he wants to play, but I got to back off.
The 1-2 really smothered him with that.
But you know, when you have players that have been around and they can control and patrol their own clubhouse, players will tell you. They'll tell you, and they'll also. It's like, you know, you talking to your dad, and your brother goes around and says, "No, Dad, he's not feeling good today." So, I mean, it helps, but you know, guys got to play together for a while to get that camaraderie. But this team, they struck a chord. I know they started off slowly, but they've got great chemistry in that clubhouse here.
The 1-2 hit right at Martinez. Big hopper. Takes his time, throws him out. Plus, because a manager watches his team every single day, if you're an everyday player, he watches you. He sees how you run to first, how you run out to the field, how you field a ball. And if he sees something that's not your regular, then he knows something's wrong.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Well, and they notice everything. As you say, when you're sitting in that dugout, those guys don't miss a trick.
Zero. Nothing gets by them. Somebody, one of those pair of 25 eyes is going to see it. 25 plus coaches.
Well, that's the ones. It's the coaches that are so aware. They know everything about their guys. The pitching coach knows his pitchers, and between the bullpen and everything like that, and the hitting coaches know their guys. They know everything that's going on.
Oh, 1 pitch. Hit on the ground. Nice play by Lonnie Chisenhall. Just into the ball game. He ran into Brian Shaw, but held him up. Get out of my way. 1-2-3. Go the Angels. Bottom of the 8th inning coming up. We'll revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by Mazda. First 3 innings we thought would be important for Carrasco. He gave up 3 runs in those first 3 innings. So
right.
It shows you how much we know.
Well, he settled in, though.
He really did. After that, he was dynamite. And a lot of that might have had to do with the fact that the Indians were scoring. Not a ton, but they had evened it up by the 4th, and then they blew it open.
Yeah, and think opposite way versus Skaggs. They did. They ran their way.
They stayed on his breaking ball, too.
Yeah, I mean, he came out, and it was only his 4th start. He missed all of last year, but they did a good job. J.C. Ramirez coming on now for the 49th time. 4th pitcher tonight for the Angels. And he'll get the top of the lineup.
Rajai Davis has had a whale of a night with 3 stolen bases, 3 runs scored. Part of a franchise record tying 8 stolen bases by the Indians in the game. And the 8 stolen bases allowed by the Angels are the most ever in their franchise history. And that brings us to Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And you're going to see all 8 stolen bases. Started in the very first by Davis, swiping 2 and 2 pitches. Kipnis goes and gets 3. There's 4 for Ramirez. And he gets another one. He had 3 on the night. Davis comes back. Ramirez comes back. And Lindor, they go late. That was the 8th stolen base. Lindor's. They had the track shoes on tonight.
I'm sure that you can look at tonight's game one of 2 ways if you're the Angels. You can say, well, it was an anomaly. It was one of those things. You throw it out, or you take this game film and you show it to Tyler Skaggs in the offseason and say, we got to get better at this part of our game.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something that they will start working with, no question.
Because I think he's got a pretty good arm. He's got a chance to be, now that he's healthy again, pretty good pitcher. But that's an issue, because you said it, Arch. The scouts, they didn't miss this game.
No, they won't. They'll have it on replay. They'll be able to watch it all.
Kipnis wraps one deep left field. That's over the head of Robinson. It short hops the wall. Actually, it's Choi in right field. Ran left and into second base.
Kipnis with a 4-hit night. Wow. And he has 2 doubles going the other way. And I'll tell you what, this guy is swinging the bat very well, Matt. He's hitting the ball hard to left. He's pulling the ball. He's hitting it where it's pitched. He is locked in. He's in a groove. He's seeing it well. And it's a 4-hit night for Kip. Last night, Napoli, the 4-hit night. Tonight it's going to be Kipnis. They are swinging it very well. 14 hits as a team. They had 14 last night.
Well, he's sneaking up to that 300 mark.
Yes, he is.
Batting .291 now on the year. Lindor, .306 average, among the top 10 in the American League.
It's not easy to creep up when you're in August.
No.
You got to get on a roll, and you got to stay consistent, and that's exactly what he has been doing.
Well, you talk about consistency for Kip. As Lindor waits the 0-1 pitch and smacks it right back at the pitcher, Ramirez. And he's got himself an infield hit. Ouch. And that's his 3rd straight hit in the game. They're going to go check out Ramirez.
It looked like it got him in the leg, back part of the leg or the hip. And that ball just trickled away far enough. And I think it hurt a little bit, and that's why he didn't make a throw. Or did it get him on the hand before it hit him?
I think it may have glanced off his pitching
The
hand.
right hand, I think it did. It caught his finger or something before it hit him in the body. Yeah, the middle finger, the throwing hand. A stinger right there.
Trying to tell him he's okay, but they're going to make sure.
Well, we'll see if he can grip the baseball. See if he can see it hit his finger. He was just, trying to defend himself. He had nowhere to go.
Looked like it may have caught right on the index finger itself.
That's the worst position a pitcher can be in, knowing that here comes the baseball and you can't block it. And it doesn't take long. You're less than 60 feet away from that hitter once you release the ball. That's a bad feeling. Chiz will get his first at bat tonight.
Mike Napoli 1 for 4, extending his hitting streak tonight. Napoli's now hit in 12 in a row.
Oh, that's right.
Number 19.
I totally forgot about that. He started off, he was 0 for 2 and then came back and had 3 straight knocks.
Leonard on the broken bat job. 1 away or 2 down. Wanted to finish the thought on Kipnis though, Archer, talking about consistency. Jason had 30 hits in May, 28 hits in June, 33 hits in July. He's got 13 hits, and we're not even halfway through August.
And he's swinging it really well.
I mean, you get 30 hits every month.
You know, I remember Kip, he was saying you try to find a consistency, you know, throughout the whole year, and he has certainly done that this year. You know, the older you get every year is something different. He was driving the ball to left field, and now he's using the whole field. He's pulling it. He's got a career high in homers. He settled into the number 2 hole after leading off last year.
There's something to be said for that level of consistency that you strive for. I mean, you look at Napoli starting in May, 25 hits in May, 25 in June, 24 in July. He's got 14, 15 now through this month.
And he's a swing and miss guy.
Right.
But he isn't this year. He's consistent.
Jose Ramirez, 27 hits in May, 27 in June, 27 in July. And now he's got 21 already.
Yeah, these guys are all feeding off each other.
Oh, baby. He clobbers that ball deep right. It's over the head of Calhoun, up against the wall. He's got an RBI double, and Jose Ramirez continues to just barrel the ball up.
I'll tell you what, he's climbing the ladder for the up there in the league. He is going. Everything he hits is hard. That is his 3rd hit tonight.
Now, when the day began, he was 6th in the American League in batting average. And he's bumped that up to 313. He might pass Mike Trout.
Yeah. And he hit the 50 RBI mark tonight too.
He's among the top 10 in doubles.
Now with 17 stolen bases, he has 3 of those tonight.
That puts him in the top 10 there as well.
Oh my goodness.
And it goes well, it goes well. Two more are going to score.
Excuse me, he checked his swing and just another base hit and 2 more ribbies. He has 5 on the night. 5 ribbies. Everything's rolling well for the Tribe. That's just he wanted to check his swing and hold up. Why not? And he ends up getting a base hit down the right field line and scores 2. It is now 13-3 with 17 hits.
They scored 14 last night.
Yeah, look, you see, when you're going like this, everything falls in play, and then there's other times where you can't buy a hit. Just remember that. These are the fun times.
He went. Can't find the ball though, and down to second base goes Geyer. And a wild pitch. Indians won at 14-4 last night. They're up 13-3 here in the bottom of the 8th tonight. breaking ball pulled up toward first. That will end the inning. 3 more for Cleveland. We'll head to the 9th. Indians by 10.
Playing a baseball game tonight. The Indians lead the Angels 13-3. Welcome back to the corner along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Boy, Jose Ramirez, 3 more hits tonight. The hitting streak continues. He has 4 runs scored. He has 3 stolen bases. He has a home run, a couple of doubles. Is there anything this guy can't do at the plate right now?
We talked about it in the pregame show, and we'll break it down again in the postgame, that you can make an argument. He's the most valuable player on this team this season for what he's been able to do, and he's now ascending the ranks in Major League Baseball. So it's not just what he's done in the American League. He is now getting the national respect, and he's somebody. I know Mike Napoli is happy he's hitting behind him. I can tell you that.
Very much so. He enjoys that. Knapp got a hit too.
Yeah.
His hitting streak continues. Make sure you stay tuned after the game for Indians Live. It's brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. For the call of the 9th, back upstairs to Matt and Rick. Guys.
Thanks, Al. Here in the 9th inning, Zach McAllister on. And Giovanni Soto swings at the first pitch and a foul straight back. Ball got a pretty good chunk of Roberto Perez. Jeff Desjardins out to check on Perez. Terry Francona out to talk to him as well. Taking a look. Oh, I mean, that was just a direct hit right in the grill. And he assures them that he's okay.
That's
super slow-mo.
I mean, that's direct. That's just.
You kind of get a look at how that helmet reacts and why so many guys have gone to it. It's the hockey style helmet. They feel like it absorbs those direct hits a little better than the traditional style mask. Call it out of play. Swung on and missed, and McAllister strikes him out. Boy, Arch, down in Texas, they must have a monsoon going on. That game still has not started.
No kidding. So that's over 2 hours.
The Tigers and Rangers were supposed to start at 8 Eastern time, and it's almost 20 after 10 now.
Well, there was serious discussions here before this one started whether we should start on time, and we've been A-OK, huh?
Hasn't rained a drop. Well, we had a little drizzle at
right
the
at
start.
the start.
But that quickly evaporated. We've had nothing since. Game tomorrow between the Indians and the Angels can be seen on FS1, Fox Sports 1, or on the app Fox Sports Go. Rick and Andre and I will be back on Sunday here on Sports Time Ohio for the series finale. In there for a strike to Jeffrey Marte. Marte 0 for 3. Ground ball right at Kipnis. And there are 2 down on the ninth. Well, this crowd are better than 27,000. They have seen the Indians flex their muscle in the first 2 games of this series against the last place Angels team from LA. Now Cliff Pennington 1 for 3 on the night. McAllister with a breaking ball for a strike to get ahead. Another one just missed outside with it. And the 1-1. Blew it by him. And the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball foul. McAllister sets. And the 1-2 pitch. No time called. In the dirt. Rajai Davis, what a night. 3 stolen bases, 3 runs scored. Jose Ramirez stole 3 bases, homered and scored 4 times. Jason Kipnis with 4 hits tonight. Lindor with 3. 2-2 pitch took off on him, full count. Brandon Geyer. He had 3 hits tonight and 5 runs batted in. Just an offensive onslaught for the 2nd night in a row. And McAllister with the payoff pitch to Pennington. Foul right back. He had a good cut.
Well, you figure I got to get a fastball here, don't you? 13-3, 3-2. You better not walk him.
He throws him a breaking ball for a strike. You just tip your cap and say, all right.
Yeah, 13. No,
thanks a lot.
Let's go. Here you go.
And again, the 3-2. And again, it's fouled away.
That one was a pretty good pitch, thinking down and away. He gets a piece of.
Fly ball, left field. Back goes Geyer. Still going back. Makes the catch to end the game. Angels for the second straight night by a final score of 13-3. They've outscored them 27-7 in the first 2 games of this series. With the win, the Indians go to 65-48, 17 games above the 500 mark, and they lead the Tigers now by 4.5 games in the AL Central. The Angels have now dropped 8 in a row for the first time since 1999. Winning pitcher is Carlos Carrasco. He goes to 8-6. The loss to Tyler Skaggs. He is now 1-1.
Boy, what a game, huh? They stayed aggressive. They ran the bases tremendously today. They hit the baseball all over the park. They are playing very well. First 2 games of this homestand, boy, they've got their hitting shoes on. They're doing everything well.
They have taken care of business so far in the first 2. We'll be back with a final thought right after this.